Good morning, Barry here from Wisconsin Hydrographics. Hey, just wanted to do a quick tutorial on a new air ride system we just put into this 2016 Street Glide Special. As a lot of you know, we do quite a few custom bikes, paint, hydrographics, things of that nature. And this is a new bike that we bought at the shop to kind of go a different route, maybe do a custom bagger with it. So one of the first things in order was to get rid of the original Harley-Davidson crappy stock system. So what that is this is Harley-Davidson's top-of-the-line hydraulic suspension, rear suspension. As you can see, you can only adjust one shock and the other one takes up all the slack. So with that being said, what we did was we talked to the boys over at Scully Air Ride, and they hooked us up. So here you have one side, you've got your air fittings here, runs up, clean up behind there. You go to the other side, and we installed our compressor here. Now it comes with a mounting plate. We had to do just a little bit of fabrication to get our mounting plate to fit with these particular Vance & Hines pipes. So what we did was this mounting plate here, we tapped some holes through the exhaust support and mounted it. Sits up there real nice and tight. Ran our wiring nice and clean up through here. We have one T that comes down to here. This is the second shock, obviously. Your dump valve fits real nice in this European void. This is here strictly for European bikes for emissions. It's unused. Some guys cut them out and actually will put their compressors right in there, but this was a good spot for our dump valve. We also got from Scully the optional forward control switch rather than having the little toggle that people sometimes put underneath here. So we can adjust it on the fly as we ride. Now they have a 5-inch travel, which is probably one of the best in the market. It makes a pretty big difference, it really does. So what I do like about the system is that it's pretty simple. Once you get the wiring all figured out, the plumbing is pretty easy to run. It's push in, snaps right in, and the air lines are right there. Everything is pretty straightforward. Little bit of a learning curve, different bikes. Obviously, the guys over at Scully, they can't figure for everybody's modifications that have been done prior to their system, so they can really kind of go off of just a stock. One of the things that you're going to want to make sure of if you do get any air ride system is at full extension, you run the risk of having the axle nut hit the pipes. Now, these particular pipes from Vance & Hines already had the indentation, so at full extension, we have about a 1/16 to an 1/8 of an inch between the rear axle nut. Now, if you're riding your air ride at full extension, you probably have no business having air ride because you're essentially just riding a hardtail. So nobody's going to ride it at full extension, but to each their own. So I just thought I'd mention that. So let's show you how it works. Currently, we measured this. We have 7 inches from the bottom of the pipe to the floor. That's completely bottomed out. Now the nice part about this system is there's a safety stop on it, so that if your air ride for whatever reason fails during a ride and you drop down like this, you are not rubbing wheel on fender. You have a 1/2-inch gap. It's going to be a stiff ride, but it's going to get you home and you're not going to have to be towed home. One thing that I did notice, and I have to mention it, is that the forward control switch that I have on the handlebar, sometimes when you're holding it down to bring the air pressure up and you let go of the button, it will catch and stick. So all you got to do is give it a little tap. I guess it's just one of those little annoyances that you just have to be aware of. It's not something that you're going to walk away and allow the pump to just keep running anyway. So But again, it goes from 7 inches down to 3 inches. So we've got 3 inches of clearance from that bottom pipe to the ground. Now, plenty of clearance. Throw some stretch bags on here, or some longer bags, and you're gonna be pretty close to touching the ground. Overall, it's a good system. I like it. Check the guys out over at Scully Air Ride, and look into a system. This might be the right system for you. I think it's going to serve us just fine.